What's up, good people? Welcome to At the Table. I am your host tonight, Shanita Morris, and you have pulled up a seat at the table where iron sharpens iron, and we are not just here to entertain you, but above all, we are here to engage, encourage, and edify the body of Christ. So let's open up with a word of prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, we are honored uh, to be vessels of glory for you. Father, we surrender our lives to you and we invoke your presence in this place tonight. Let the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, God, our strength and our Redeemer. Father, we pray to bring you great honor and glory, and that no one will leave the same as they came, but with a greater desire to draw nearer unto you and be the people of God that you have called all of us to be. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. I know. Y'all wondering where my other two co-hosts are. And so let me explain. Um, well, Felicia, because of her family dynamic, needed to take some time off. And so, she has two little ones and a husband. And so, we understand her situation and give her the grace to do what she needs to do, because family comes first, always. And we're having fun doing this. But at the same time, we are not making any money yet for this. So you understand that, family always comes first. And Donald is busy doing his thing. And sometimes, he's just not able. So um, I praise God for both of them. And when the time is right, we'll be back together. And, hopefully that'll be soon. So we'll see. But in the meantime, we have been blessed to have Brother Marcus D. Wiley to come on with us. Or with me. Okay, I'm so used to saying us, but with me tonight, and great friend of mine. I love this dude like a brother. This dude is just one of the realest guys I know, and I've been in this business over 30 years, and just one of the most incredible guys I've ever met. Um, in every area, he's just a really good guy, and one of those people you one in your corner. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm looking forward to talking to him tonight, and I'm going to bring him on real soon because what we're not going to do is go 2 hours tonight. Okay. That's another thing. Some things have changed. I don't know if y'all noticed some things have changed. My hair has changed. I had to dye my hair black because I've been having some hair issues. So my sister made me, well, she didn't make me, but she suggested that I go ahead and do the black thing. Y'all know I love my gray hair. So that is one of the changes. Then my two co-hosts are not here. So, but tonight we're gonna try to keep it tight. We're not gonna try to do 2 hours and whatnot. We're gonna have a good conversation with Marcus. And so you guys come on in the chat. Come on in the chat and say hey. Hey Taylor. That's my godson. So you guys come on and let's have some fun. So tonight I want to read a little bit about this brother because he's just so phenomenal. And one thing I love about him is his humility. And I asked him for a bio, but he wouldn't give me one because he was like, I don't care about all of that. And I can appreciate that. But I want you guys to know the gift that we have tonight. So Marcus is a Christian. He's a husband, a father of two, a comedian, and a book author. A lot of people don't know that he's got a book out there called Hustle and Faith. He used to be a professor at Texas Southern University and a co-host of the Yolanda Adams morning show, who was known for his impressions of Bishop Secular. who was his alter ego on the syndicated radio show with Yolanda Adams. He began his comedy career in 2002, and his career took off like a bullet. We'll talk about that later. Born and raised in Houston, Texas, he is known for his clean, edgy comedy and for being a trendsetter, bringing his brand of clean comedy not only to the churches, but also to the masses. I've always had so much respect for this man since the first time I met him, because I had to eat some humble pie the first time I met him. And let me tell you about that story. So, first time I met Marcus, we were doing a show. I'd never heard of Marcus before. I'd never seen him, never heard of him before. And we were doing a show at the church that I attended at the time, New Mercy's Christian Church in Atlanta, Snellville. I'm not sure the city, but so he was opening up for me. And of course, I had done several shows at my church. And so, this was, I'm looking to have a great time. And I did. But so he goes up before me, and this dude is ripping. And I'm like, who in the world is this guy? And I mean, he's so smooth with it. He is so smooth with it. He's up there ripping. And I'm intimidated. I really was. I think at that time, he had been doing comedy maybe 3 years. At that time, I probably had been doing comedy about 12 years. And he's up there going. I mean, he's killing the audience. He ain't leaving me nothing. So I have to go up behind this guy. And I did okay. But I was so intimidated by this dude because, I mean, he just went up and he ripped the stage. And so that night I learned, don't ever let anybody intimidate you. You go up and you do, I was nervous after he got off stage. So by the time it was time for me to get up there, I'm shaking in my boots because he done took everything. So, but no, it was a blessed time. The show was awesome that night. We had a great time. Hey, Akintunde, thank you for coming in, dude. We had a great time that night, but he stole the show that night. I'm not gonna lie, he stole the show, and that was my first time being intimidated like that on stage. But that was his thing. That was his night. He stole the show that night, and I give that to him. But without further ado, I want to bring him on. I'm going to brag on him a little bit because, he's just such a humble guy. And I really do appreciate that about him. Because if it's anything missing in the gospel industry today, it's humility. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my brother, my friend, Brother Marcus D. Wiley. Y'all clap it up for him if there's anything missing in the gospel industry today, it is humility. So I appreciate humility, brother. I appreciate it. How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing? Thank you for the kind words. You only misspoke one time.
Okay, what's that?
You called me a thief. Said I stole the show.
You stole the show, brother. You stole that show. Do you remember that?
I remember that. Because
okay, so you don't feel like I felt.
No, because I felt different because when I saw you, I was like, this is chocolate. It just showed you how everybody have a different, thing. If you remember, I'm up there quoting your jokes that I heard when I wasn't a comedian. I'm talking about your old jokes from Def Comedy Jam. Amen.
Right.
Yeah. And so I'm telling you that, and I'm in awe. You might be like, whoa, who is this young buck? But I'm like, whoa, look who here. You know what I'm saying? So we both had, different emotions or whatnot.
Right, we did. Because I was like, I don't know this guy. Who's this guy? And I remember you had on like some clean, I mean, they must have been brand new Air Force Ones. You was up there dressed all nice, like you always dress. And I was like, okay, who is this guy? You know, and I mean, then you get to opening your mouth and you ripping up the stage. And I'm like, man, and the audience was eating you up. I was so mad at my church family that night. I was like, really? Y'all some traitors. So
Some
yeah, but
training.
it was cool. It was cool. It was
Yeah,
cool.
that was a good time.
Yeah. So how's everybody? How's your family, your beautiful wife, your beautiful children, your beautiful mom?
Yeah, everybody's good. I don't smell anything. Nobody's cooked, but everybody's good. Mom in her room. Wife and daughter at choir rehearsal.
Okay.
Chase getting his hair cut, and I'm here with you. So everybody's
Right.
good. It's lovely.
Right. I've never met Charlie now, never met her, and she looked just like your wife.
Count
Interesting
it all
story.
joy
Yeah, I know.
that you've never met her. Is what I'm saying.
And Chase has grown so much. I mean, you always talk about your wife and your son. As soon as you get off stage, that's the first thing you're doing is calling your wife.
Yeah,
What's Chase doing? I mean, just beautiful things I would see you do
I
on,
appreciate it.
when we would be on tour and things like that.
For
So
sure. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, always been a stand-up guy. I'm gonna get to the questions in a minute, but
Okay.
it's just a couple of things that I've experienced with you that has really stuck with me. Um, one of them being when we were on tour at one point, and I wasn't on this leg of the tour, and I'm talking to the tour manager, and he's telling me why, and you know, um, and he was telling me some things that hurt my feelings because he was saying, well, Marcus and Griff said this, this, and that about you, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm thinking, wow, I must really, I'm like, I must be problematic. What did I do? And so when I got off the phone with him, I'm in tears. I dropped my tears and I called you because I'm one of them people. I ain't gonna sit on it. You saying something
Right.
about me. I need why you
Yeah.
didn't come to me.
Exactly.
And so I called you to say, hey, I just talked to such and such, and um if I did this or whatever, you could have told me about it. You could have talked to me. He's like, what? He said, I said, what?
Yeah.
He said, he was like, and you was like, no,
Yeah.
wait till I see such and such.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is the thing that really resonated with me is when you did see him, which was that weekend because y'all had a show,
Yeah.
you stepped to him.
Yeah.
And you was like, and actually called Griff too, and Griff said the same thing. I didn't say that about you. I don't know why he would tell you something like that.
Yeah.
And you actually did step to him
Yeah.
and you defended me and told him, look, don't ever let that happen again. And don't
Right.
ever lie on me like that again.
Exactly.
And you handled that situation. And I mean, you just don't see stuff like that happen a
Yeah.
lot. Because you put a lot on the line doing that.
Yeah. I mean, but I think at the end of the day, you know, business is business,
Mhm.
but then friendship and relationships, I think that's forever. And
Right.
so I don't think that or I would want to risk my relationship over this little business.
Right.
That tour is going to end.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But we'll still have relationship after that.
Yeah.
And so for him, and I do know who it was,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
him to say some stuff and then stuff that he wanted to say, but add me to it,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I thought, yeah, he was definitely out of line.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like you. I ain't no big bad dude. I ain't out here fighting and slapping folk. I got folk to do that.
Right.
However,
Right.
but I am gonna step up,
Mhm.
and man up and see what's up, and
Right.
that's what that was.
Well, a lot of people, probably would have brushed it under the rug or whatever and be like, even if they'd have said something, I don't think they would have went like you went,
Yeah,
because there was a lot on the line.
yeah,
But you was like, dude, if you got something to say to her, you tell her. Don't put me in there. Don't
yeah.
don't be lying on me.
Don't lie on me.
Yeah. you
Yeah,
know, and so and it hurt because he made it sound like you and Griff was saying stuff, and Griff said the same thing. Child,
yeah,
I ain't said nothing like that about
right.
you. And
Because I feel like I could, if I wanted to tell you something, I could tell it to you.
right,
Yeah,
right, and that's
my
what
mom,
you said. Yeah,
watch this, Shanita. My mom used to tell me all the time. If I got mad, she'd be like, "You've been mad before, you'll be mad again." And I take this with everybody now. If I'm gonna say something, you'll be mad at me. Guess what? You've been mad before,
right,
you'll be mad again. So
right,
there's no reason why I need to avoid, saying whatever it is I want to say.
right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You're a wise brother. You're a wise brother.
yeah.
Uncle Tunde said you was. He said you must have been cussing that night. That you. No, he wasn't. He wasn't cussing. He wasn't cussing. Praise
Now
God.
I practice. I tried not cussing. I tried, and
You try not cussing?
yeah, I try not to. I'm talking about, definitely. I don't cuss on stage.
No, I'm talking about. We talking about the very when I first met you. That's what Ak was saying. When I first met you, he said you must have been on stage cussing, but
Yeah, no,
no, he was just flat footed funny
no,
and
yeah.
making me mad. I was like, I wanted to say this Negro.
Hey,
So, but no, it was
I
a
was trying
blessing.
to pay them bills, Chalk. I mean, I'm trying to.
I hear you.
At that time, I had God, as they say, had opened the door.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to run through it.
And you did
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I was
And
trying
you
to
did
run
that. And
through it.
and we're gonna talk about that because man, I mean, listen, okay, so I definitely wanted to acknowledge your wife and your children, your family.
Mhm.
And because you're a family man, I don't want to let that go unsaid because you're a family man, you're a great family man. Um, ain't many of you in the business like that I've met. Akintunde is a family man. I
He
love
got
the
a
way
whole
you
lot of.
guys. Yeah, yeah.
He couldn't stop being a family.
Yeah,
He,
yeah. I mean, when we was younger and we would hear that Og had 5 kids, be like, 5 kids? Good grief. You would never know it looking at him,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
And now he looking younger than some of his kids. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he puts
And
in the
y'all
work
love
too.
to tell y'all, hey, that's I say you can tell when when a person knows that they look good for their age. Because they just flat out come out and tell you, you ain't even got to say nothing about age. You start out the chop. I'm 51 years old.
Yeah.
I'm in this steam room trying to get my life right. I'm like, Marcus, I ain't asked you about I
Yeah.
said you can tell when people know they look good for their
Hey,
age.
hey, this world will tear you apart. I mean, you better pat yourself on the back because this world will tear you apart. You hear me?
No, but you do. You look good for your age. You, Akintunde, y'all look good. You're taking good care of yourself. So let's get into these questions. Because I'm gonna try to keep this at an hour because normally at the table we go way too long.
Mm,
Okay. So first question, can you tell the people how you got started in comedy? Because you were pretty much an anomaly when
yeah,
it comes to our beginning.
for sure.
Because I
Go
don't
ahead.
know nobody else who started out like you.
Yeah, well, I was hosting. I was on staff at a church. I was working on staff at a church, and I was getting ready to actually quit the church, quit being on staff, not the church, but quit
Uh-huh.
being an employee of the church. I was a director of events. We had this big Christmas gala. I was the host. And so instead of me just quitting the gala, I said, well, let me finish this last event. Then I'm gone. And I'm hosting it. And lo and behold, it's a lady there that owns a coffee shop, Muddy Waters Coffee Shop, Pearland, Texas. She contacts the church and say, hey, can I get the comedian's number that hosted the show? I mean, the comedian's number that was at the show. And they was like, what? What comedian? She's like, the guy that hosted. They was like, oh, you talking about Marcus?
Right.
He ain't no comedian. And, and they just being 100, like he ain't no
Right,
comedian.
right.
And so she's like, well, can I get in touch with him? So boom, they gave her my number. She calls me. And she's like, hi, my name's such and such. I own this coffee shop. We're celebrating 1 year. I would love you to come do your comedy at the coffee shop. And I was like, I ain't no comedian.
Wow.
Because I wasn't. I'm not a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, but you was really funny. I was like, yeah, that's just people at my church. I was like the little funny dude at the church. So
Right.
that's just them. And she was like, well, I got $500. And at that time, Shanita, I was making $1,250 a month
Wow.
at the
Wow.
church.
Uh-huh.
So she was going to pay me 500
Right.
on this third Friday,
Right.
September the 20th, 2002.
Wow.
And I said, I'll try it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shoot, I tried. $500?
Right. Exactly.
And one night, I said, yeah, let me
Right.
try it. So I went, I did it. And, I had put a poet and a singer on there because I come up and tell a story or two and then bring up an act because I didn't really have no set or nothing. I just,
Right.
needed something. And so 3 days later, she called back and say, hey, we want to do this once a month and I'm going to pay you $750. I said, wait a minute. $750 every third Friday. I was making $1,250 in 30 days. Now I'm not good at math, but I'm fantastic at money.
Right.
And I knew. I was like, oh yeah. And so I did it, and then it just started
Dude.
snowballing from there.
Yeah, I don't know anybody but you who made 500 their first time on stage.
Yeah. Won't he do it?
And then went from there to 750. You know how long it took me to get to 750?
Yeah.
Dude, you're talking about 500 your first go round. I remember my first week booked at a comedy club. I made $50 at the end of the week, and I was glad to get it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. No doubt. Yeah. I feel that. I feel that. But yeah, 500 went to 750.
So when you start out like that, it's like when you start out on the job. I don't care how young you are. If you start out on a job and making $25 an hour, you ain't never gonna go to a job that's less than $25 an hour.
No doubt.
You will never do that.
No doubt.
And so for you, that set the standard for you. And you was never, so you never was hungry like we were.
No. Now, because I was living over my means. So let's be clear. Yeah. So
God said, look at this nut. Let me help him out.
Yeah, that's what he said. Let me help him out because it took years for me to get my head above water. I'm making money because of all of my I say this person gave me $75.
$75.
Because all of my bad decisions I made in college. In college I had credit cards in the student union, and man, I had about 16 credit and charge cards. So my what is it? My credit score was horrible, and I got all these bad rates on just everything. So it took a minute. So I was making the money, but man, that money was getting ate up. That money was getting ate up.
You were married at the time, right?
Oh yeah. I got married in '97.
Right.
And so I didn't start doing comedy in 2002. So Erica, my wife, she thugged it out with me. She toughed it out. She toughed it out. Because she was like, fix my credit too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So so we finally started getting it together.
Wow. Dexter said, let me see what Dexter said. He opened for Patti LaBelle Flame Tour for free, but it was Patti LaBelle.
Yeah.
For free. Yeah.
That's a good look.
Yeah, that's a good look. I mean, if that was your first time and that's pretty. So before you got into comedy, who was some of the comedians that you admired?
Yeah.
And who was the one comedian that inspired you to do comedy?
Okay, so boy, I tell you, this is crazy because what was then has now changed.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? But I do remember at that time there were 5 comedians that you all would know that I looked at, as I was trying to get myself together.
Right.
Okay. Shout out to my guys in Houston, Ali Sadiq, Dave Lawson, Terry Gross, Keir Spates. These were the guys that I worked in rooms with.
Okay.
So I always give them props because they allow me to come in, do my thing.
Right.
But the national guys per se at that time, the first one, Steve Harvey,
Okay.
it was more about his confidence.
Right. Right.
It wasn't even about him being funny.
Right.
It was like he walked out there with this air like, I know I got it going on.
Okay.
And whether y'all laugh or not, I'm good. Now, whether that's false confidence or I don't know, but it attracted me. Like, he had the suit, because I think I started doing comedy in suits.
Right. Right.
I don't even own a suit now. But I started, crazy. I started doing comedy. I had I'm a preacher's kid. So I had a closet full of suits. So
Right.
this was right up my alley.
Mhm.
But how Steve walked out there with that, he was one. Another one was Martin Lawrence.
Right. Okay.
He always looked like he was having fun.
Right. Yeah.
He just like he was having fun. Like,
Wow.
again, it's not even about the jokes. It's just
Right.
he just looked like he was having a good time being there to me.
Uh-huh.
Then so that's Steve, that's Martin, Ricky Smiley.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
he had the content
Right.
that I knew I would be talking about.
Uh-huh.
So he made me see at that time, oh, I could talk about church.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to talk about it like he talk about it,
Right. Right.
but
Right.
it can be talked about
Mm-hmm.
everywhere.
Right.
And I was like, okay, cool. Then Jamie Foxx, at
Right.
the time, I thought God gave him too many gifts.
Yeah.
You can sing,
Yeah.
you can joke,
Yeah.
you can play, you can impersonate.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
say
saying?
that about Jamie. It's like, man, you be like,
Yeah.
goodness.
He had a lot. He had a lot. So I
Yeah.
just thought he was just the ultimate entertainer.
Right. Yeah.
And then my last one was Chris Rock because of content.
Okay.
He always
Wow.
had jokes that meant something.
Mm.
Whether he would say there's a difference between being rich
Right.
and wealthy.
Right.
And then go with his joke game. He would set the stage and I was like, okay, I kind of knew that's how I would be doing comedy. Like, I'm gonna be funny, but also,
Right.
So it was those, I would say it was those 5 guys that I looked at before I started and was like, okay, how can I take a piece
Wow.
a piece of them?
You playing right into my questions, because when you mentioned the people who you watched, even Ali Sadiq, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, Chris Rock, Jamie Foxx, I can see all of them in you.
Yeah.
I can see how you have fun on stage. I can see your confidence, your content.
Yeah.
That's why I called you a seriously funny guy, because your humor is that kind that is going to make you think. It's going to make you think again. It's going to make you examine yourself.
Yeah.
And to me, that is just like conscious comedy.
Yeah.
It's not just funny, it's making you think.
Right.
And I've had people tell me when I've come to their church, you were hilarious, but you cut us a little bit.
Yeah.
Which tells you make people think.
Right. Yeah.
Is this necessary? We doing some stuff, or am I being judgmental? I played a clip of you today where you were at a bar.
Okay.
And things are not always what they seem.
Right.
Know.
Yeah.
And so when you mention these comedians, I've never heard. Now we get asked that question a lot. Who inspired you?
Right.
But you not only talked about who inspired you. You didn't just give the names. You gave us what particular characteristic about this comedian inspired you, and I see all of them in you.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So what point in your career? No, hold on. What was your first big gig and who was on it?
My first big gig. Okay. The first big gig to me
Uh-huh.
at my church in Houston at the time. And it was my coming out party.
Okay.
But they booked Broderick E. Rice.
Okay.
Now, Broderick was one of the
Hold on before you go there. Clarify your coming out party.
coming out as in not the closet, but
Yeah.
coming out as in Houston, this was going to be my biggest show because I was
Okay.
in the coffee shops.
Okay. Okay.
And now I was in a 1,500 seater, sold out.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. Like, this was going to be my first big show.
Uh-huh.
And so they booked Broderick E. Rice.
Uh-huh.
And what's up, Jack? They booked Broderick. And Broderick was it was Sister Cantaloupe, Broderick Rice, and Jonathan Slocum.
Right.
These were the three quote unquote
right.
Christian comedians
right.
that my manager at the time gave me their VHS tapes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I didn't know, I can say I didn't know if I could do comedy without cussing because I had never seen it done without cussing at the time. I didn't know anything about them. You know, I knew about the people that I mentioned, earlier. And so they booked Broderick, and we had an opening comedian, and I did all my stuff. I mean, I'm doing it.
Right.
And Broderick, I go in the back, I say, "Hey, brother, you next." And Broderick leans back in the chair. He says, "Hey, man, do you have merch?" I said, "Merch?" He said, "Product." I said, "Product?" He said, "Man, are you selling anything after this?"
Right.
I said, He said, "Oh, good. Well, go on up there and have a good time." This is what he told me. Man, go have a good time.
Right.
So watch this. I killed the show. At that time, I'm making $750, right?
Right.
I'm making $750 show. Kill the show. After the show, then I bring up Broderick. Broderick comes up, kills it.
Right.
He's another talented.
Right, yeah.
He can sing.
Yeah.
Impersonate.
Right, yeah.
He's another one.
Yeah.
And so he kills it. And Broderick Rice sold about 11 grand of product that night.
Good grief.
Yeah, 11,000. 11.
How big was the church?
Huh?
How big was the church?
It was 1,500 seats. But
this was your church home?
This was my church at that time. And they was getting his T-shirts, his CDs, they were just getting it. He sold out.
Right.
I think my pastor, "Hey, man, y'all go out there and support him." When they do that, he'd be like, "Yeah, come
Don't
support."
You love it when the pastors do that?
Yeah, come support, man. And so, man, he made his money. And he said to me, "Bro, you really funny." He said, "You say some stuff up there I wish I could say. Wow. But watch this." He said, "But you need to get you some merch."
Right.
And you'll have to tell me something one time.
Right.
I ain't been without merch since.
Right, because you was already making $750.
Oh, but that night it went up.
I know it did.
Because the preachers there was asking, "Hey, can you do this at my church?" And I was like, "I can." And they was like, "What do you charge?" And because my pastor doubled my thing for my show, my little coming out, that was my new price, $1,500.
Right. Yeah, because your prices like doubled and tripled much quicker than most people I know. Most of the time, we didn't get to go up unless we had TV time.
TV time, yeah.
And you was really doing it.
Yeah, but when I got on the morning show, that was a blessing. That definitely, Yolanda Adams morning show, that boosted it.
Okay, well, don't get ahead of yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Taylor wants to know, can you share a time when a joke you made on stage unexpectedly opened up a deeper conversation about faith with your audience? You ever had a show where you got deep?
I mean, that's a lot of my shows, but definitely last year I was on tour. I toured this show, Marriage is Major Surgery.
Right.
And it's probably my most, I'm gonna say, prolific show to date.
Right. Okay.
And it's a real show about, me and Erica and what I've learned in 27 years
Right.
of
Okay.
marriage.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
I learned that it's major surgery. And so I break all this down, of course, by way of joke. But to answer the question, I received so many people coming up,
Right.
dudes coming up to me crying, bro,
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
separated from my wife.
Hmm.
What you
Mm,
said tonight, I'm about to go get her.
mm.
And I ain't saying these are not one-offs. This every show.
Right. Right.
And I'm talking about women who just, man, I came to the show tonight. My husband's been with me. I already got here saying it's over. I'm
Wow.
tired of him. But after what you said tonight,
Yeah.
I'm about to go home and apologize.
Right. Yeah.
Huh? And so I didn't even know the show was going to take on these jokes. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I'm spitting the real, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, they are jokes too.
Right. Yeah.
But it just took on a bigger conversation with that definitely resonated with couples.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, when you share your heart like that, the word tells us that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And when we share our testimonies like that, and I'm talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sometimes
Right.
people only want to share the good, and especially in marriages, people want to act like everything is 1,000% perfect,
Right.
and and it they don't realize that it takes so much to live a lie. It's better to just be honest and open,
Yeah,
and because the truth makes you free,
for sure.
and so when you are up there sharing your truth, this is you being vulnerable,
No
but
doubt.
it's helping so many other people, and people don't realize. Share your testimony.
Yeah.
You don't know who needs to hear
Yeah.
what you've been through, what you've overcome.
Yeah. But
Because
practice it too.
practice, yeah, be honest, be
No,
honest.
no, I'm saying make sure you have it together though. Like it's the scattered testimonies that kill testimony service. I'm saying so, you know, you know,
What's a
marriage major
status
surgery.
testimony? What's that?
Uh,
What's
no,
a
I'm saying
status?
a scattered meaning like I'm saying practice your testimony.
Uh-huh. Oh, oh,
I'm saying practice.
oh, yeah, don't be all over the place with your
Yeah,
testimony. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I'm just saying. Practice it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I was telling somebody that I gotta polish up my testimony. I don't want to be up there and be all over the place, you know, uh, talking
yeah.
about something and just way over here in left field. And people like, where's she going with
Right.
this? Yeah.
That's
And,
what I'm saying.
and be concise with it. You're
Yeah.
up there, you have 45 minutes. So,
Right.
um,
Yeah.
and that's another thing, you're a storyteller. I'll get to the part where you are on tour with Ali Sadiq, but
Mhm.
that's one thing about both of you is that you guys are storytellers that are very engaging,
Thank you.
very engaging. And I don't know if that's a Houston thing or what, but you guys. So we'll talk about that later. But so at what point in your career? Well, you already told me about that you feel it jumped off.
Yeah, that was the first. And that's been other jump offs,
Uh-huh.
but that was the first one.
Uh-huh.
You
Okay.
know, that was
Okay.
the first one.
That's the one that kind of just opened the door for you because then other pastors are
Oh man,
coming and saying, hey, and that's what you want. That's
hey,
what you want. So, okay. So I've seen you on other podcasts. I really appreciate you obliging me and coming and having a sit down with me. You're so humble.
thank you
Just
for having me.
um, so I've seen you on other podcasts like Glad TV.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
boys.
you mostly laughed on that.
That's all I did. That listen, that podcast was about the triplets. Okay, Jason, Josh, and Justin. Okay.
I mean, so are they from Houston or something? Or
Oh, they're from outside Chicago, in between Chicago and Milwaukee.
okay.
And they reached out. I commented. I never watch this show. It's crazy. I never comment on people's stuff.
Right.
I'm a person who I thought that was good.
Right.
But I never say nothing. But this guy, Justin, one of the triplets, he was so consistent with the church. I was like, this boy's a church boy through and through. So I just said,
the one who plays the old man? Which one plays
no, not the one who played the old man. Justin's the one, he's the preacher.
Okay.
And so I just hit him. I just said, hey, bro, keep doing what you're doing. Really enjoy the church stuff. That's it. Mm-hmm. Man, that man hit me back. Marcus D. Wiley, the GOAT. This his words. I don't even know that the youngsters even know me. I'm just calling myself, trying to encourage. Hey, bro, keep it up.
What you're doing. Yeah.
And so they was like, man, we would be honored if you come sit in with us.
Wow.
And so, man, I went down there, and you're right. I just laughed the whole time because they are funny to me. I mean,
because they just play off each other. And Bishop.
Yeah. And he reminds me, see, when you have a grandfather like that, a fine brimstone pastor who really don't preach with love, but they just everything is scriptural, is Bible, that's what the Bible say. Yeah. And so it was funny, man. I couldn't stop that.
His puns be so funny. I'm like, this dude.
Yeah.
Be cutting folks all the way up.
He be cutting you up. Yeah, it was funny to me though.
I mean, no filter. And I'm like, why does his makeup look like this? I mean, I understand that you're just trying to be obvious.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, is this dude old like this for real? Because he really acts like an old soul. And if you guys don't know who we're talking about Glad TV on YouTube. Yeah. It's a page where these are triplets.
Yeah.
And they're hilarious. Yeah. They are hilarious.
Church boys, though. And that character is their grandfather.
Okay. So that was him. He just, oh man.
Yeah. That character is their grandfather.
Yeah, he's something to reckon with.
Yeah.
So they Bishop Bosley was his name. He had you cracking up, dude. He had you cracking up. It was really fun to watch though. I've seen. So were you in town or you flew?
Yeah, I was in town. I'm touring, like you said earlier, with Ali Sadiq, and we were in Chicago, and they came pick me up from the airport, took me to their studios. We recorded. They took me out to eat, took me back to my hotel. That was it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
They made it work. Hey, Rod Z. Who else? Who all came on? All y'all. Dorian Dawson. Pat. Hey, everybody. Thank you guys for being in. So I've seen you a couple times on Dear Future Wifey.
Yep. Latarius. Yep.
Now, you have got to be one of the only people I've seen on there twice.
Yeah. I think last I checked, I was the only one, but like some other people could have re-upped. But yeah, I was on twice on Dear Future Wifey, and it was.
And I mean, you were comedically very candid about marriage, and your episodes had over 500,000 views. Okay, so so how and why are you so honest about things that most people find it difficult to be honest about, and you make it comical?
Yeah, I think because we used to lying, and I'm just saying we are just used to lying. Okay. And we lie sometimes because we don't think the truth, watch this, is good enough.
Right.
When it is.
It is.
It is. It's okay. And so I think, one thing about me and Erica, me and my wife, we've had the ups and the downs, and we've separated, we've got back together. I mean, it's the things that a relationship goes through.
Hmm. Yeah.
Some make it, some don't. Let's stop trying to make everything so hard.
Right.
It just that's just what it is. And so I just try to talk from that place, you know. I got this
But you
thing.
make it so comical.
Yeah, well, that helps people receive it a little better, you know.
Darius, he was practically on the floor.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because when I could say, hey, my wife ain't feeling me right now. She don't like me right now. And that's the truth. Now I ain't talking about right now, but I'm because
Right, right, right.
we good right now. But
Mhm.
there's some times where she ain't trying, man, she
Right,
ain't messing with me.
right,
And it's okay.
right,
it's
exactly.
it's not the end of the
Yeah.
world. It's okay, bro. She ain't messing with me right now.
But
Yeah,
I think that's just the maturity in you. That's the mature part that a woman really wants to see in a man. Because sometimes our hormones are all over the place. Sometimes we don't even know why we mad.
sometimes.
Sometimes we get mad at ourselves,
Yeah.
but we don't know why we mad. So, but when you have a man who is patient with you and say, "Hey, she ain't fooling with me right now,"
Yeah.
but not walking away, calling her all kind of names,
Right.
giving her the same energy she giving you.
Yeah.
She don't even know why she mad, or even if she does know,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
be patient with me, instead of wanting to walk out or go call another woman and just mess things up and make it worse than it was before.
Yeah.
That's the mature part of a man. That's what we look for. And I've always seen you as that dude. You've always been wiser
I've
than your
tried.
years.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Hanging with older people. I was
Yeah.
just having that conversation earlier today. Uh I went to my grandparents' house
Right.
and had to stay over there for 2 weeks. And they have no cable, a one-way telephone. I can't leave this house past this house and this house. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so it makes you sit there and listen to wisdom and knowledge
Right.
and
Right.
kind of understand some things and so older people, they kind of help you with that. They kind of help you, know that, hey man, this is seasonal
Right.
because only in relationships people don't want to believe that they're seasonal.
Right.
We respect seasons in every other aspect of life
Right.
except a relationship. So, when there's not a good season in a relationship, we out. Or hey, this is just not a good season right now.
Right. Right.
Now I'm not saying, please, because people take that out of context. If
Right.
somebody is abusive, I'm not saying
Right.
that's a season you're supposed to stay in.
Right.
I'm just, I'm just saying.
No,
I'm,
not the tornadoes and
yeah,
the monsoons and
right.
yeah.
I'm just saying the regular seasons, winter, spring,
Right.
summer, fall.
Right.
Okay, no hurricane, no tornado,
Right. Right.
just winter, spring, summer, fall.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's seasons, and so you know, yeah,
Yeah.
they come and go.
But I just thought that it was just really cool how you were able to make everything so comical. And is there ever a time when Erica is upset and you being silly?
Yes, yes, it don't go
Okay.
well.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's nothing like the audience.
Like that ain't funny.
Yeah, ain't nothing funny.
Right.
That ain't funny. Yeah,
Mhm.
ain't nothing I say funny over here
Mhm.
doing them times.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times you can tell when a man is married
Okay.
because he's well kept.
Because he's what?
Well kept.
Okay.
And you have always been one that dressed really nice.
Thank you.
You didn't told me you didn't get rid of all your suits and stuff.
Yeah.
And women love a well-dressed man, women love
Smelling
a
good.
well-dressed man. It's a beautiful thing to see. Now, is that something that has always been a part of your personality, or is it a result of your wife because she dresses pretty nice herself? Or was that something that even before you met Erica, you always dress real nice? Because a lot of times when a man dress nice, it's because he got a wife that makes sure he does.
Well, if Erica was here, Erica would tell you I buy her clothes. I dress her. Like
Oh,
I'm that guy. Yeah.
oh, okay.
I can't tell you. My wife can't tell you last time she went shopping for herself. I
Are
come
you
home off the
serious?
road, be like, babe, I saw this, saw that. Duh, 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 duh."
What?
Yeah, that's how I do it. Now, but let me take you back. I'm from the era, Shanita, where when you don't have a lot of money,
Hmm.
you learn how to put stuff together.
Right.
Okay, you know how to put stuff together, and
Hmm.
so I've always knew how to mix and match. Okay. And I'm
Right.
talking about not with the best of clothes, because I tell people all the time, just because you just because you got Gucci down to the
Right.
sock
Right. Right. Yeah.
and Louis from head to toe, this don't mean
Right.
you can dress. This
Mhm.
means you just have money to look like the mannequin.
Yeah.
That's all it means.
Right.
You just have the money. But
Right.
I didn't grow up with that. I grew up having to put it together.
Right.
And so yeah, I don't consider myself the flies dresser because but I know how, like, because I'm into different looks. Once upon a time it was all suits. It's
Right.
just suit.
Right.
And then but now, man, I'm into the cargos. I'm into the jeans, the ripped jeans, the
Uh-huh.
the seersucker with the denim jacket. I mean, I just mix it up now. And so and I've been wearing suits all my life, so that's why unless I just have to wear a suit,
You're not putting it on.
not putting it on. Not putting it
No,
on.
'cause I've seen you dress. I mean, I've seen you put stuff together that I'm like, on anybody else, that would not look good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and so yeah, you just really got a knack for that.
Thank
I don't have that. I wish I did.
you.
So prayerfully, my husband will be that type of man. Like, baby, I saw this. Like, you might need to go hang out with Marcus.
Yeah, that was
when
my
he
dad.
comes, when he comes, people like, she married. She waiting.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, were there any? Did you ever hit any low points in your career when you were at the top of your game that made you want to quit?
I don't think I've ever wanted to quit, but I have got to the point of where I had to reassess.
Hmm.
And I think it was when social media took over.
Okay.
Social media was something that I didn't get it. I'm still not in it.
Right.
That I didn't get involved with and needed to get involved with, because
Right.
I understand it, but it was just something, I don't know, man. I just don't like it. And I don't like anything about it. I don't even like the name follower. I grew up in a household
Right.
where if you're not the leader,
Yeah.
you're a follower.
Yeah.
And in my household, just growing up, if you didn't want to, if I wanted my mom to tell me no to something, tell her everybody doing it.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
And I'm
Yeah.
sorry that has stuck with me.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's just some it's amazing what sticks and what don't. And so uh with the social media when it came out and I started seeing guys and girls who could not touch a stage. I mean, couldn't even don't you even go by a stage. You hear me? Don't you take a picture of the stage. And then they just shot off on social media. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't hating them because I was like, congratulations.
Right.
The problem was the audience was like, oh, they are the best comics ever.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it made comedians like, huh?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because we were looking like, well, these are not even comics.
Right.
But but the social media made, if you funny, you're a comedian. It's like, and so at first I was like most other guys, I was hating a little bit,
Okay.
not out loud,
Right.
but in here.
Right.
Yeah, I was kind of hating. I was like, I know this guy, I know this girl, man. What are
Right.
y'all,
Right.
what are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
But when you can cut, paste, and edit and filter and do,
Yeah.
and so I
Yeah.
had to reassess, study it a little bit, kind of get some understanding more of the social media and all that. And then I had to make a tough decision. And I told God, not told him like I run him, but they say talk to him. And
Right.
so I told him, I said, I don't want to do social media.
Right.
Now I'm gonna have a presence on there, people can do some things, but I'm saying I don't want to have to get up and do that. I don't want to do it. I
And
don't want to do it. Now, if I gotta do it, show it to me that I gotta do it.
right.
But I don't want to do it.
Right. Yeah.
And I even understand that may keep me at a certain place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well,
It's all right with you.
it's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, so it didn't make me want to quit, but I just had to reassess it, and and so I don't be around here mad when I'm hearing,
Yeah.
oh, such and such, oh, they the funniest ever, they the.
And then we work with them and
And then let me tell you, because I'm gonna tell you, man, the Lord is funny. So I won't mention any names, but I was on a show with one of them social media people, right? And Shanita I never go on stage to prove nothing.
Okay.
That's not my thing. I go on stage and do me. I don't care who before me. I don't care who behind me. I'm go up there and do me regardless. You like it, you don't. This me.
Right.
But it's been 3 times I done went on stage to make a point.
Okay.
Well, this last time I was on stage with a social media phenomenon.
Right.
And they were like, this person is going last. And I was like,
right.
Right. And it was, and I ain't tripping by going last, but the fact that I knew that this person didn't really have a stage show.
Right.
That's why I was like, but cool. Right. I go on stage, and when I tell you, I tears this crowd to shreds.
Worse than you did the night I met.
Listen, way worse. And so I go out there to basically go, now, what you gonna do?
Wow.
And when that person came out on that stage, them people totally forgot I performed before that person.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm sitting in the crowd because I was like this here, like, yeah, let me see. And as that person kept talking, I was like,
oh man.
I'm looking around the crowd.
They killed it.
They killed. But and it was killing with Lil knock knock. Who's there?
Right. Yeah. The people were in love with the character.
Because that person feeds them on social media every day.
Right.
I can't compete. See, this white comedian, I tell everybody, this white comedian named John Chris.
I know John.
You know John? Mm-hmm. John shares with me when I was trying to do the social media, because I tried it. So this wasn't something that I just totally neglected. I tried it. I was doing my little Hell Now Ministries.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, it was growing. I mean, it was going well. People loved it. I didn't love it.
Right.
And that's the difference between me and other people. I don't like it.
Right.
So I'm not going to keep doing something I don't like just because everybody else like it. Mm-hmm. And so John told me, he said, hey, man, you need to do that Hell Now Ministries more. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't even want to do it when I do it. And he
Wow.
told me, he said, well, if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Mm.
He said, because social media is like your girlfriend.
Hmm.
And right now you talking to your girlfriend once a week.
Mm. Mm.
Other people talking to your girlfriend
Every day.
every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day.
Hmm.
Now, who do you think your girlfriend gonna start listening to?
Right. Yeah.
And I got it. It was like I ain't gonna be able to compete.
Right. Yeah. Because you would be going against who you really are, and you will be forcing it. And I feel the same way. I look at people who can do this every day, and and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm like you. I can't compete, and I'm also one of them people. If everybody else is doing it, is the quickest way to make me say I don't
Yeah.
want a part of it.
And the audience don't have expectations no more.
Yeah,
See, my material is
it's been dumbed down.
yeah, I don't want to dump it down. I
Yeah.
want to,
Yeah, because the audience have been dumbed down. It's
oh yeah,
like
the
I
audience
look
for
at
sure.
stuff that they laughing at. I'm like, really? That's funny to you?
Yeah. And I mean, it's just anything. I
Yeah.
just see them come on and hey, have you ever put your finger in your belly button?
Right.
You feel that thing and I'm going, and I might look under there, 15,000 comments. Really? I mean,
Right.
and so it made me. It's like either I'm out of touch, or or
Yeah.
it's just not my thing.
Well, because like I mentioned earlier, you have a very clever comedy. And there are very different, various
For sure.
types of
And
comedians.
I respect them.
Yeah.
I respect them.
And so I'm just not that comedian that look at a comic that do the knock jokes and think it's funny. I like the intellectuals. I like to learn something while I'm laughing.
Right.
And
then you got
so I like yeah.
Some people, they don't want to learn nothing.
Right. They just want to
laugh.
Yeah.
And I get that. I get that. I do. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because you have all kinds of people. And I heard Country Wayne say, somebody like every comic that's out there. There's some people who like any kind of comic that's out there. You might not like me,
For sure.
but I might not like this kind of comic. Don't mean that there's not somebody out there who
you get your own audience.
Yeah. So that's what he was saying. There's an audience for every comic, and I've seen it. It is true that
it's definitely true.
That comic, there's that audience that loves that filthy comedian. I remember when I was in secular comedy, and I remember people telling me, I heard it more than once, you funny, but you don't cuss. I need to hear some cussing. So I wasn't that person's cup of tea.
Yeah.
So it's an audience for everybody, and you might not be my type of comic, And so with the internet era, this is I compare it to when we were coming up, when there was the comedy explosion in the 90s. Okay. And you had the Bernie Macs, and you had the Steve Harveys, and these people who had been doing it long before we had been doing it. And all of a sudden, here we are blowing up. And we're really just blowing up because we get the TV time when this stuff wasn't out there for them. Gotcha. They've been funny. Gotcha. We're getting our big break when they're getting their big break, but they've been doing it 20 years already.
Right.
And so when I see the internet comedians blowing up like that, it's just a different era. And I'm pretty sure they looked at us like that when we were coming up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And again, like I said, I had to reassess. I'm not mad, envious, jealous, none of that, because they are putting in the work.
Yeah.
Just because I may not be a fan of the work, don't mean that they not putting in the work.
Well, they're millennials, so they're going to do it different.
Yeah, they putting in the work, man. That's a lot of work getting on doing something every night. I mean, doing something every day, 2 times a day, all of that. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, they put in that work. Hey, Sis Cantaloupe. Marcus already. Was Trina on the show that night? The
No,
night
she
you
was on the
saw
show
her?
that night. No, I mentioned her about the VHS tapes I got sent.
Oh, okay. Um, okay, so let me go to the next question because we already at an hour.
Boom.
Right. So you've done several tours. I've had the
Yeah,
pleasure of being on a couple of them with you. You've had your own tours. You've done your
yeah.
own tour. Very successful
Coming
tours.
out the pandemic, I had to recoup some of the money the devil stole.
Mm. But you did that. Yeah, you because it was the what was the one? Was it the marriage tour?
That was the second one. The first one was called Grown, Great, Forgiven.
That's the one I was talking about. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, Grown, Great, Forgiven. That was the first one. And then
You did that one in what year was that?
2022.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're on tour with Ali Sadiq, who's actually a Muslim.
Muslim brother.
What's that conversation like on tour? Because I know you stand on your word. I know you stand on your word.
Yeah, but when we on tour, we ain't really in church or the mosque.
Right.
Ali, good brother, spiritual brother. I really had no problem being on tour with Ali or with a Muslim because my college roommate was Muslim.
Okay.
And so, yeah, my college roommate, and he's one of my best friends to this day.
So God was setting you up.
Yeah, because what happens is, you know, and this is just my take. I remember when me and my roommate in college, we went to my grandfather's house, and my grandfather's a fire and brimstone pastor.
Right.
So he was like, "Oh, young man, what church you go to?" And I forgot to tell my roommate, "Oh, God, no. When this question come up, man,
Right.
I forgot." And he was like, "Oh, I don't go to church. I go to a mosque. I'm a Muslim." And my grandfather said, "You a what?" He said, "I'm Muslim." Because, you know, they bold.
Right.
He was like, "I'm Muslim." And my papa was like, "Yeah, okay. Oh, hey, Mark, come in. Let me talk to you." So we go in the back. He said, "You mean to tell me you are rooming with a Muslim?" I said, "Yeah, that's my boy there." He said, "Y'all not equally yoked?" I said, "We not getting married.
Right.
We are we are roommates."
Right.
He said, "But they don't even believe in Jesus." I said, "No, they do believe in Jesus. Now they don't believe he was Savior and all that type of stuff, but they believe they believe that he was prophet and all that." Woo. So he was like, "I don't see it." I said, "Well, Paul, what would Jesus do?"
You didn't hit him with the what would Jesus do?
Because, you know, that was big. That was big back then. That's when everybody had the wristband.
Right. I know I did. Yeah.
I said, "What would Jesus do?" Huh? I said, "Hey, we'll see. Either I'm gonna rub off on him or he gonna rub off on me."
Right.
But at the end of the day, though, you know, good brother, good people. And even with Ali, do you know I've done Ramadan maybe 3 times in my life? You know what Ramadan is? When
you taking a break from
when they fast for about
Right.
30, depending on when the sun set. And watch this. And do you know the biggest problem I had with Ramadan? Because, you know, they eat before the sun rise and eat when the sun set. Right? You don't eat all day. My biggest problem wasn't the eating. It was praying that many times a day.
5 times a day.
It was praying because it's about every 3 hours. They praying.
So what made you do the Ramadan?
First time I did, I was in college with my roommate. My roommate was on it. And so when we were in college, you know, we was living la vida loca. And when he had to take a break for these 30-something days, I didn't want to you know, still be, hey. And so I said, "Brother, I'm gonna do it with you."
Oh my goodness.
And I did it. And so when he would break and do uh Islam prayers, makes a lot, what they do, I would pray. And I was running out of words. This is when I realized I wasn't a strong Christian. I was running out of prayers. See, people, you
You
think
was
you're a
running
prayer
out of
warrior.
prayers.
Yeah, because you think you're a prayer warrior until you got to pray that many times.
So Josiah said you did Ramadan because you half Muslim.
No, I'm not half. I'm not half Muslim.
This is my problem child right here. Yeah, Josiah. He's a comedian.
Oh, okay. No, I'm all Christian. God's been
yeah.
good.
So,
but
so
I do
you did it because
understand.
he was doing it.
Yes.
So he was rubbing off on you then.
No, how could he be rubbing off on me when I freely did what I wanted to do?
So the hardest part was praying 5 times a day when the Bible says pray without ceasing.
Yeah.
So
what does pray without ceasing mean though?
That means just if you see something need prayer, pray.
Right. And I do that. But now when you have to pray every 3 hours, and they have prayers wait, you gotta know what they're doing now. They got prayers.
Every 3 hours?
Huh?
Every 3 hours?
About every 3 hours on Ramadan, they're going to pray. They're going to pray a whole prayer. Not no, Lord, thank you for this day. Appreciate you. Holla back. Not one of them.
So the prayer has a time limit.
No, I ain't gonna. No, the prayer don't have a time limit.
You said there can't be no short prayer.
I only pray short prayers. Yes, it can. I only pray short prayer. The Bible said pray often. Never said pray long. Show me where it say that in the Bible. Where it say pray long. Show me. Point it out to me.
It doesn't. As a matter of fact, it speaks against praying long if you just babbling. You just talking just to.
So what I'm saying was, if pay attention to me and all your listeners, the point I was making was when you have to pray a set time all the time. I was running out of stuff to pray about, is what I'm saying. This is when I'm telling you, this one I was like, whoa. I thought I was together. I ain't really together. I had to check myself.
So you said you did it 3 times?
In my life, yeah, I'm 51. I probably done Ramadan 3 times with my partners.
Okay. So do they do any of your
all the time? And that's the first thing I noticed. If I bite these boys, the church bite them, they coming.
They coming?
Yeah, all the time. Gonna be there.
You go to the mosque?
I've been. Yes. Yes.
All right, now you stand strong, brother.
Man, y'all gotta stop being scared of your people.
I think, look, that and now that you mentioned that beard making you look more like a Muslim.
Well, cool in the game. Y'all better stop being scared of your people. Get out there, go out here and learn something.
I ain't scared of them. I'm not scared of them because I
man.
know where I'm staying. I know.
Watch this here. Watch this here. It's people you around every day. Probably even claim the same thing you claim, and won't give you $1 if you need it.
Well, you ain't got to tell me that. And
I'm just saying. So
not even just that. Just
I'm just won't even pray for you. These your same people. Won't even do it.
You ain't even got to tell me.
So
people want to talk about church hurt, baby. Please, if you ain't in this to serve Christ sincerely with your whole heart, church hurt, man. If it was for church hurt, I'd have been gone. If I didn't really love the Lord like I do, man, please, you talking about some church hurt. I ain't worried about the church. I'm here for Jesus.
But I don't even mean it like that. I don't even mean it like I'm not talking about necessarily the church, and I don't want to get into this because my new show that I'm getting ready to do in 2025 that I'm writing now.
Well, you you be right. Go ahead and finish your point, because then put a pin in that. Go ahead.
Yeah, that I'm working on now. I'm addressing a lot of this. I'm getting ready to defend the church. I'm getting ready to defend the church in my next special. Yeah, I'm getting ready to defend it. Yeah, because everybody talks about the church. It makes me wonder, who is the church? Is the church some little dude behind a curtain or something? Like, who is the
Like the
church?
Wizard of Oz.
Like the Wizard of Oz ever.
So
And
in your defense, we good?
church ain't been nothing but good for me. So I don't, and it's gonna be my prayer that when I get through, people realize it's been good for them too, been good to
Right.
them and for them as well.
Right.
That's my hope. Now,
Right.
we'll see.
Even though there are some things, the church, we're not a perfect people, and I don't even like to say. I think it's a waste of breath to say I'm not perfect or I'm only human.
Right.
But we got to stop looking for perfection. And if you want to see it, then you try to be it. You try to be it. You try to be that perfect example that you want people to see. And if we all worked on ourselves, we wouldn't have time to criticize others.
Yeah.
Because I think the more time you spend examining yourself, the less time you have to criticize what somebody else is not doing or what they should be doing. Now we a mess. I ain't gonna lie. We got a lot of stuff we need to get right. Matter of fact, church culture, we need to fix it. Because it's going left a little bit.
Is
And
it?
we need to get it right. Yeah, I mean, we just kind of doing what we want to do, a lot of us, and we got to figure out where we are, who we gonna serve. We're gonna either be in the world, or we're gonna live for God, and be ready for him when he come back. So, but you're a very mature Christian, spiritually and naturally. You're a very mature man. And so when I see you going on tour with a Ali Sadiq, I'm not shocked, because everybody can't do that.
Yeah.
Everybody can't do that, because some people are easily swayed. And the Bible tells us not to be tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine.
Yeah.
And so when I see you doing something like that, that doesn't scare me, because I know you.
Yeah. I mean, well, one, he's my brother, and
Mhm.
and I just always feel like God is the best knower.
Uh-huh.
And so, my job is to love. It ain't to judge. And I'm just trying to be good at my job. And that's it. You know, that's my boy. I love him. And he gave me a great opportunity.
He did.
I
He
mean,
did.
this is an amazing
Yeah.
opportunity to be on a tour with 100 dates. Just think, I got 100 dates in 2024 that I ain't even have to book.
Wow.
Assalamu alaikum. No, too late.
No, that's terrible.
Go to your next question. Go to your
You
next
better
question.
stop. Yeah, because these church dates be so choppy.
Mm.
And especially since the pandemic, and so yeah, it's a struggle.
Already.
But I was going to ask you, not ask you, hold on. Mike McCoy said, true, both your statements may be, God is on the throne and Christ will return for his spotless. Absolutely. Absolutely. But the thing I was going to say about you, though, because you were saying I've been writing for this stuff for 20, you've always been a writer. I mean, we would be on tour, you would just come up with a whole new set. We on the same tour. You got a whole new set the next weekend.
I think, Shanita, what, for me, I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. Like, you came up in the era where y'all perfected a set, right? You know, y'all worked that set, you perfected that set, then you travel with that set, and boom, boom, boom. And I think I was foolish enough to go, okay, I did that set. It's not even perfect. Let's be clear. I'm not even acting like it was perfect. Y'all perfected y'all set. I just maybe did a good set, let's say. And then I'm like, okay, I got these other ideas I want to try. And
Right.
most comics, they're not gonna try them, because me doing it in church, I don't have a what's that, open mic. Like I've never done an open mic.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So I gotta do mine live in front of people.
Right.
I'm doing
Yeah.
mine live in front of people. Now I would wiggle it in, weave it in,
Right.
but that's how I was just doing it. And so I knew I was going to be in churches. And so immediately I said, okay, I need to have a men's set, a women's set,
Wow.
a youth set, a pastor's anniversary set,
Right.
a
Right.
church anniversary set. And in
Wow.
these sets, maybe 15 minutes
Right.
of material,
Yeah.
then lace it around your other stuff. But I need, because I'm a returnee to these ministries.
Right. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they booking me for the singles. I need a single
Yeah.
set, need a marriage set. You know what I mean? So I needed these, and that just got me. And
Right.
by me being a church boy, I would just think about all the stuff that I would, be thinking about these things.
Yeah.
And so that's how I just, the writing just come.
Yeah. I mean, because I've seen we've gone to the same church, and you came with a whole new set, and I'm like, this Negro be showing all the way out. And I would see you go up and do new material on stage. So he just not even scared. He just gonna go up, and because
Yeah,
if I got new material, I'm like, okay, where can
yeah,
I put this in?
yeah, yeah. And I've recorded with new material that I've never done. So that's what I'm saying. So the set is not perfect. It might be good ideas, good concepts, good premises, but the set is not good.
Yeah,
And then now I go do it. So when
yeah,
people would buy the DVD, they would get a but if you see me do this set
now, yeah,
months later, now it's like, oh, it's really together now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's just how I would do it.
That's amazing, because I wish, and that's that confidence. That's that confidence that you garnered when you watch, excuse me, a Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
And you come up with, it was funny when I wrote it.
It was fun. Right.
Y'all
Right.
about to love this, because I
Right.
love
I
it.
thought it was fun.
Yeah, and that's how you deliver it. You deliver it like,
Yeah.
y'all gonna love this because I love it.
Yeah.
And one thing we had to learn as young comics, and I remember, Michael Williams telling me this, and I have had to tell other comedians this: slow down.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of the silence.
Oh,
They're
I love
listening to you.
I love it.
And you and Ali have
Yeah.
mastered that.
Oh, I relish in the silence. It's cool
I mean,
for me. It's not even it's not, I don't feel, because some comics feel like they need to
yeah,
need to laugh every, haha,
right, yeah,
I'm okay.
right,
We'll get there.
right. And then when you do, the laughs is up here.
Yeah.
And some comedians, I'm like, don't take that long if it ain't
Yeah.
if that punch ain't far. don't take that long getting to the punchline, and it's weak.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah.
You
It
need to
definitely
cut
got
out
to
all
be
that fluff.
it.
Yeah, no, don't take that long. It ain't worth it. Get to it. Get to it. But you and Ali have mastered that, and so I'm imagining that your audience is very mature.
Listen, my audience is, and definitely his. Listen, he has a comedian's dream audience, because they come to listen as if they're
Mhm.
watching a movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, man, I go out there, on his tour. I got a story to tell. That's the name of it. I got a story to tell.
Wow.
So of course, there's a lot of stories being told.
Right. Yeah.
And man, it's been phenomenal, selling out everywhere. This week we're in Portland and Sacramento, and
Yeah.
you know, just it's just going, man. I go out there and I only have to do 25 minutes, which is hard.
I
It's
know this for you because
yeah,
you got a lot of material.
it's
Yeah.
hard. And so I found me a good little set that worked.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you know, that I can hit a story here, hit a story there. You know, I got to trim a lot of stuff off to try to, and
Right.
then it's just typically me and him. I go out, boom, he come out. I mean,
Right.
it's been fun, a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, I can imagine that y'all's audience is very mature, a dream audience, and
Yeah.
I mean, and I see you, and you are not an energetic person
Hmm.
on stage, but you are energetic compared to him.
Right. Yes.
So
Yes. Unless
yeah,
he's doing some of his physical stuff. It depends on if he's telling some of them stories where he falling all over the stool and all over the chair. Like I'm old now, Jack. I ain't finna do none of that. I'm I'm
so who's the
literally now
oldest, you or him?
I'm a stand-up comedian. Huh?
Right, 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 right.
You say who's the oldest?
Yeah, you or him.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the oldest. Ali is 50.
Oh, okay. Yep, you just a year older than him.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So wait, hold up. Willie said, I would say because the church is not a comedy club, it's a church. They have some events where comedy fits in, but it's not a comedy. And it, okay. Churches do comedy when they get ready. Okay. Comedy clubs do. Willie, you kind of repeating yourself. You on medication? I think I get what you're trying to say. I think Woody must have typed that. That was Josiah said, I can't wait to open up one of these tours. I'm running around the stage. Josiah is that very energetic comedian. He's a funny brother.
Hmm.
Uh, how can I say this and be nice? Um, we still teaching Josiah humility.
Mm.
We still teaching him humility. But he's a great guy. He's a great guy, and he's very funny. So he's saying he can't wait to open up for you.
Oh, for sure, man. Look
Yeah.
forward.
So if you hear Josiah B. Jones, I
Joseph.
think Josiah's out of Detroit. I think he's out of Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Karen say Woody. Oh yeah, I think Woody typed that. Woody done hacked your thing. But so we got to shut it down because I said we wasn't gonna do more than an hour, but we've gone more than an hour.
I don't
So
know how you trying to contain me.
I know, but you
You and
know
your
what?
other when your co-host ain't show up for me, huh? They ain't there for me. Okay.
Look, it's not that they didn't want to be. It's
I'm good. I'm just playing, man.
yeah, people have obligations and whatnot. So um okay, hold on. Let me see. What is this question? Oh, okay. Okay. So last question here. I admire that you and Erica, your beautiful wife of 27 years, I got 26 on here, have overcome the obstacles you have been faced with.
So
As
far,
a matter
so good.
of fact, when I met you, I think you guys were separated. Yeah, you
Probably.
guys were separated
Yeah,
at
that might 04. I think it was
oh
04,
yeah, oh four,
04,
yeah,
05, somewhere in
yeah.
there. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
every time we did a show, I'd be like, "How's your wife? You talk to your wife?"
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You'd be like, "Chop,
Hey,
leave me
Josh,
alone
Josh,
about
hey,
that."
leave that alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was so elated to find out that you guys worked everything. I didn't even know Erica.
Right,
I just
right,
knew that you had shared with me,
right.
and so
Yeah.
praise God it all worked out. But so you guys have overcome the obstacles that have been thrown your way and have been faced with, and how you navigated such a wildly successful comedy career. So, what advice would you give to a young man or woman who may be contemplating divorce, going through a hard season?
What would I tell somebody? Well, that's the first thing I would tell them. But then I would also maybe tell them, how did you expect this to be? I mean, I would ask questions like,
Yeah.
like, what did you expect? I mean, really, when we talk about marriage, what is it that we're really expecting?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, and what's the time frame? Because I
Mhm.
think that's a lot of it too. Like, man, he ain't got it together by now.
Mm.
it's like,
Right.
it's like, bro, marriage is major surgery. Like I said on my tour, anytime you trying to get two minds
Right.
to think like one,
Mhm.
it's surgical.
Right. Yeah.
Anytime you're trying to get four hands
Mhm.
to function as two, it's surgical. And so expect, expect, good times, bad times, happy times, sad times.
Right.
It's because it's all like developing you. It's all, it's all working. Okay, here go the Christian stuff. It's all working together. That's in the Bible. Yeah. It's
See,
working.
sometimes you can't even help it, can you? Because it's in
It's
you. It's in you.
working together. And so again, if the situation is not cataclysmic,
Mhm.
if it's just the regular, oh, he on my nerve, she on my nerve. He don't manage money right. She talk to me crazy. Woo woo. Hey man, welcome.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, welcome. I mean, that's happening.
Right.
Yeah, that's happening. And so, I just think that, I mean, if you want it to go away, then go away. But those
Right.
things don't go away, they grow away. And in order for it to
They
grow
grow
away,
away. I hear that. That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, they grow away. And so once upon a time, I used to talk crazy. Erica used to
Mhm.
talk crazy.
Mhm.
It has grown away.
Yeah.
Now we still can go there.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm saying don't go away,
Right.
but you grow. You like, oh,
You
okay.
mature,
You mature. Now
or you
I
don't.
can go back there and say, hey man, let me apologize first. I was out of pocket.
Mhm.
I couldn't say that 20 years ago,
Right.
15 years ago.
Because that pride.
Not even proud. I ain't want to. I ain't feel like I was out of pocket. I
Because
mean,
of that pride.
no, it ain't pride. I just felt like I was right. And she be feel like she right. So,
So whether she was right or you was right, you didn't even care. A part of you grew to say, it don't matter who right, who wrong. Let me
it
go
don't matter
apologize.
who right or wrong.
Yeah.
It don't matter who weak or strong. Oh, that's Babyface.
Yeah.
That's Grown and Sexy CD. Go get it. But yeah, I mean, because all that don't matter. It don't matter.
Wow.
It
I
don't,
like
man,
that.
that
Yeah.
stuff be, in the grand scheme of things, this is so minuscule. Is that the word?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, minute. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you gotta you gotta grow to that.
Yeah. And don't
Don't
give up
go.
in the process. And I mean, if it, like you said, if it's not somebody abusing you and doing crazy stuff, that's different. But I hear people who uh are going through divorce with things that, like, really, that's what y'all getting a divorce
Oh yeah. Oh, because these podcasts, I ain't saying yours,
over?
but these podcasts, they are killing relationships.
Wow.
They
Wow.
killing them. Man, I be listening to some of this stuff, just
Or
clips.
just the internet period. Just the
Yeah.
internet period.
And like I remember I heard a lady say, I can't remember, and I'm not calling her out or anything, but one thing she said was, I'm tired of men basically saying they love me because I stayed and put up with their foolishness.
Mm,
And watch this.
right.
I understand exactly what she meant.
Hmm.
But I also, if I was on that panel, if I was there, I would have probably said, you are absolutely right in how you feel, and I get all that. But man, you don't even know what you got in a person
Yeah.
until
Hmm.
it goes bad.
Right. Yeah.
And when it goes bad and we able to get it back together, I'm sorry that you hate to hear this, but I love you because you stuck it out with me. You stayed there with me.
Right.
Regardless of if I hate that. Why you just can't love me? I do. But that ain't the reason why we like this. We like this because you stuck it out with me.
Yeah.
And so I'm listening to her say that, and I get what she's saying. I promise you I do. I get what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a relationship.
Right. Right. Yeah. Because people gotta want to do the work. And Marva had said earlier, marriage ain't for the faint at heart. A lot of people don't realize they are the faint at heart and not ready for marriage, because if you're going to run every time it gets hard, and especially people today, well, if he not bringing this to the table, or if she not bringing this to the table, or I'm not getting ready to stay with no man who let my lights get cut off.
And I share with people that, speaking of at the table, me and Erica, I didn't bring anything to the table. She didn't bring anything to the table because we had to build the table. We got married early. We got married young. And so sometimes when you're older, and I get it, you expect people to come to the table with something. Mm-hmm. But I would always tell Erica, I am the table. Even though I ain't it now, I'm the table, cuz. And yeah, you just come to the table. The table gonna be set.
Right.
And the people, it's just it's harder. It's just harder now. I listen to people, I hear them. They don't want to work, they don't want to fight. I'm talking about for the
marriage, yeah. Because marriage is work. If you go hit them bumps in the road, you gotta get the counseling you need, or whatever you got to do.
Yeah, they lack stick to itiveness.
Yeah.
And then you can't pattern it after nobody. Yours is yours.
Yeah.
And so that's why with that tour, Marriage Made the Surgery, I just told my story. I wasn't trying to fix marriages. Because some people like them broke.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that might work for them.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling my story, what I've learned, have it.
So do you have these on DVD where people can get them?
I was about to. I recorded at a couple of spots. I did 52 dates. I probably recorded it 3 times. I really wasn't too excited about the recordings. I didn't like how they kind of came out.
Right.
And so my good Muslim friend, Ali Sadiq, he's going to produce.
I ain't gonna let the Christians jump on you. We ain't gonna jump on you. We're gonna be nice. We're gonna be nice tonight.
Come on, jump on me. I mean, I'm okay. I know how to click off. Let me see what a thing to say.
No, don't you play with me, boy.
I'm just saying. I know how to lead the studio. But anyway, but yeah, he's going to produce it and do it top notch. So we game and planning it.
So Ali's going to produce it, and you did some writing on his because I saw one of his things. Mm-hmm. And I saw the credits going up, and I saw Marcus Wiley.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, this dude is doing it.
Yeah.
So Martini has a question. What if a man pays all the bills in the marriage and she still complains about everything somebody hurt? Whereas her money is her money, but she still wants the husband, oh my goodness, to pay for her nails and her hair and get upset when he can't do because he paid all the bills. Uh-oh.
Okay. So what's the question? because Martini, welcome to my world, baby. I don't know. I don't know what it is that you're asking, or what you would like to change.
Did you hear the rant though? I mean, he was like, well, what about it?
Because the thing, if you pay all the bills and all that, man, that is a major thing. That's a big feat. And if she still want money for nails and hair, and if you don't have it, all you got to do is say, I don't have it.
Yeah.
Say, I don't have it.
Stand
And
up.
then and that's it. And then watch this. You know what? Let me get your hair and nails done, but we finna cut this cable off.
Right,
Or
right.
we finna cut these lights off. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just ways.
yeah,
It's ways
yeah.
to do it.
You gotta put your foot down,
You
Martini.
gotta
And
put your foot
you
down.
might need to change that name. That's just not that name ain't yeah, you might want to change that name. She might not be respecting you because that name kind of
Karen said I fainted twice. That's crazy. I'm crazy.
Karen, you and me both. I didn't really faint though. I was in two marriages that I just made some really bad choices and
Yeah.
I was
And that
committed.
happened.
I believe in my vows and I was doing everything I was supposed to do. I just married two people that
Yeah.
everything was a lie. And
Yeah.
so,
And that
yeah.
happens.
And so I was in situations where I couldn't stay. I couldn't stay. So, yeah, but you live and you learn. You don't jump into relationships after that, after you've made, two very bad choices. You wait. And I didn't expect to wait this long, but so
Yeah.
it is. So it is. But listen, I gotta cut this off before the 2 hour mark. I'm not keeping my word. But Marcus, you have been such a blessing. And I am so grateful to you coming on and hanging out with me. So if I asked you to come back, would you ever come back?
Sure.
Because you're a good interview, and it's so many questions I had I could have asked you, but thank you so much for coming on. We normally like to play rapid fire, and let me mention the LOL GCA that is coming up in October. Everybody knows that we always advertise that. And Marcus, we would love to have you come. I know you don't call yourself a Christian comedian, but you are a clean comedian that is a Christian.
I'm a
And
Christian.
so you've been,
I've been. Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I
you've
love
been.
that.
So we're doing it again. Roxanne is on here. We're doing it again
Roxanne,
in October.
Roxanne.
You want to be her man? So yeah, uh, I know you're on tour, so you might not even have time, bro. You might not even have time.
When
But
I'm
if
gonna
you
take
do, October 3rd through the 5th in Norfolk, Virginia. So if you have time, you have blessed us before. I didn't call you unhumble, Josiah. We'll fight later, Josiah. Remember Karen? Remember Karen? We did a show for Karen.
I know
And me,
Karen.
yeah. Uh, Thank you, Shanita and Marcus. When I get my weight up, what?
Yeah.
Oh, let us know. We're definitely looking forward to coming back. Let us know, sis.
Yeah. I knew that was Karen when she had said I fainted twice.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Somebody met you at the conference, and I'm sure anybody who meets you have a good experience with you.
Except
You
the
just
bill collectors.
well, they don't meet you
True that. They bother me.
because you listen. You can teach all of us humility. I really appreciate who you are. You have just been a stand-up guy from the day I met you, even though you made me eat crow that night. Uh, you have incredible accolades. You've done so much in really such a short time in your career. You have been highly favored. You're greatly blessed, and you're. I love your humility. I love your humility.
Well, thank you.
So you've been consistent. You've been the same way since the day I met you. You're not one of them people who don't have, matter of fact, you get mad because I text you instead of call you. And I'm like, dude, I like to make sure people are somewhere where they can talk.
Yeah, I'm 51. Right,
see, there you go.
I don't want to read an essay. Just call me. Like I got to read this long.
I can say, Marcus, can you talk? Why you just didn't call?
Well, why you just didn't call? Just call.
Yeah, you different.
You from the era where we call people.
You different. No, you're not. You're not. Yeah, we're from the era where we're from that era.
We call.
Yeah. but I mean, it's good to be able to text to see because back in the day we couldn't just call and say, "Can you talk?" We had to call. Now we can text and say, "Are you available?" But you don't want that. You want me to just assume you're available and go ahead and call. You
Works
just
for me.
you're just different. But I got the memo now. But I appreciate you, Marcus,
Thank
so
you.
very much. I love you so much.
Love you too.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on with us. Um, you want to take us out in prayer? Okay, well,
No.
Lord, bless Marcus, continue to bless Marcus, and continue to bless him to be a blessing to everyone who comes out to see him, who sees him online, on TV, wherever he is, God, and help use him for your glory. Use him, Lord, for your glory, and help him to stand on your word and be a light in this earth. Uh, God, be glorified through it all. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, Marcus, thank you so much for your time, brother. You are a jewel.
All right, I'll talk to you.
All right, baby.
All right.
All right, y'all, that's our show tonight. Listen here. Y'all know we always do the benediction. I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us. At the table audience, you guys are so awesome. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Felicia, I'm not sure when she's gonna come back, so y'all be praying for her. And Donald, he busy, so I'm not sure. But in the meantime, we're gonna be at the table. So join us next week, same time, same place at 7 o'clock. And I'll let you know what we got in store for you. We got some more great guests coming up, y'all. And I'll let you know. So meet us back here next week, same time, same place. Now, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace in Jesus' name. Y'all have a blessed evening.